Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to the video. Today we're going to get started on the Sentinel Fighting Armor Iron Spider. Gotta say this one is fun, but you're definitely getting kind of what you pay for with this, because for 95 bucks you get a lot of die cast, you get a lot of movement. Sentinel's engineering is awesome, but you kind of get what's lacking in terms of hands and real accessories. But I guess that makes up for you buying a stylized Spider-Man, right? Yeah, I won't say mixed emotions because that's not true, but it's weird because seeing as we've already got the Iron Spider, it's crazy to see it as an Iron Man styled Iron Spider. So I have, as a Spider-Man fan, I have mixed feelings. But as a toy, it actually worked out really well, and I didn't expect that, because I was expecting it to be, you know, it can't move, it can't do this, can't do that, and then I went and proved myself wrong. So that was bad on my end. But yeah, so let's get started by talking about the look of it. Let's go. So as we move this guy up, we will see that we have a nice large spider in the front. We have our Iron Man style look. I think the only thing that's really bugging me is going to be the helmet, whereas we have our Iron Man style helmet and there's a front spider like plate. So I mean the webbing design kind of stops around where the plate is, and I just don't know why that was chosen as a style. Like, I would have liked it to be full-blown webbing mask instead of just a front plate. And I think that's my only real gripe in terms of the face. As far as the rest of our articulation and look, it's an Iron Man styled suit. Oop. Oh damn, I'm ashy as hell, y'all. See, that's what I get for washing my hands a million times now. But this is Covert World. So as you can see, our back piece is going to be opened up, which is different from our actual Iron Man. And that's because there's going to be a plug piece to put on behind, where we're going to put our spider legs. As far as our articulation goes, we actually get a nice hefty range for a figure with a lot of die cast. So let's back up a little bit more. As you can see here, you can actually do a straight on looking up pose, which is pretty cool. You can look down. The neck does move, so you can actually tilt side to side as well too. Our arms go all the way up, and we can hit a T-pose. Now, for me, this is a full disclosure point for transparency. I originally got my Iron Spider broken. One of them came in, but Ami replaced the parts. It took, what, like 2 months for it to replace, but I got it. And I'm going to show you where it happened at, so we can all see what happened. So right here, there was a plastic joint inside that was fused. So if you're having an issue and you feel like yours is not moving, make sure you heat it up and wiggle it out, because this rod was actually fused inside of the arm. So just keep that in mind. You don't want any issues with that. Mine was actually fused, and that was a QC issue. I thought it was me at first, but it turns out it was a QC issue of being fused. So I wanted to make sure you guys definitely know about that. Now, we do have our bicep swivel, and as you can see, the joints are really tight, so you can see why that would be fused. And with all this die cast and heavy parts, it makes sense. We have our double joint. We have our wrist peg, which goes up, down, and rotates around. I want to talk about this wrist joint. I think it's a little too small. It needs to extend out just a little bit further. It doesn't give you the full range you kind of need without running the risk of your joint falling off, because the hand is so big. So just keep that in mind. We can tilt side to side even with our armor. Now I want to say be careful with our armor, because you will get paint scrape if you are pressing up against it too hard. As you can see here, he can actually rotate backwards. He has ab crunch going forward. You are tilting side to side with no issue. For the legs, we can go about this far out before we have to do the pull down method and rotate it out further. You can also go forward, and let's check out backwards. So this is how you'll get backwards as well too. You'll also have the thigh swivel. We have a very nice double leg joint, and our ankle pivot is pretty generous even for a figure with die cast. You can even go forwards and backwards, and has toe pivot. So the question is, how do you get spider-like poses out of a guy in a giant Iron Man armor? It's really tricky, because this one's gonna be about angles, right? But for the most part, you can technically get spider-like poses. This is stupid. I shouldn't even rotate it that way. But the point is, I'm trying to show you guys something. So as you can see here, you can still get poses. But let's say I rotate this leg, pull the leg out. And I'm glad I did, because I wanted to pull the whole leg out. But let's say you wanted to get a normal, more spidery-like pose. This one actually looks a lot better, right? This one looks a ton better. And with our spider legs that we're going to talk about in a second, it'll look even better. And then we're going to do a crouching pose to show what we can do, right? So let's hit a crouching pose. And as you can see here, he can hit the 3-point stance for superhero landings. Ooh, let's move it back a little further. There we go. So now we're going to jump into our accessories and our spider legs, which is very important. So on our backhand side, we have this, right? And you'll get 4 of these patented cool spider legs. Come on, focus. Don't do me like that. There we go. These actually have a ton of points of articulation. Starting with down here, you can rotate left and right. You have our points here that bend. So as you can see here, you can actually get a lot of formation out of this. You will get this back piece. This is how you're going to plug them all into the back. And this is pretty cool. I kind of just slap it on, and then I slowly start to put the legs on. So we're going to just put in 4 of them, which is pretty cool, because once you put these on, it really does complete the figure, which is why I didn't want to start with it on, because some people may like this without it, but also it's technically part of the accessories, right? So let's actually, oops, there goes another rubber tree. Oops, there goes, I don't know why I'm singing that. Don't ask me why I am singing it. I don't even know why it popped in my head. Sorry about that, y'all. I can't sing to save my life, so let me shut the hell up. But I like singing, so let's all do it together. So as you can see here, our spider legs are on, and they look absolutely fantastic. Look at that. Look at that. Now, if you thought the figure looked nice before and you thought it was missing something, now you know why. It's really because these legs truly do complement this figure. They make it look really, really good, and they have a ton of articulation. So they definitely seal the deal for me. Like as you can see here, they just add that extra oomph on this figure with no problem whatsoever. As you can see here, this looks really good. And this is just me just popping them in at first glance. As you can see here, you use them to go over, right? You can rotate to the side either way. This is really, really nice. This definitely does make it look a lot better. Even in the photos from before that I saw, and even my own photos, I'm playing with it now. I'm like, this just looks even better than what I've done already. That's really, really cool. Now, as far as our other accessories, you do get webbing that is going to tie around the wrist, look really nice. And this is why I wanted the pegs to be longer, so you feel like you have more room when working with this. So you'll get this as well too. So you get one large webbing. You'll also get one web line. And considering he has an Iron Man armor, you're not really going to be using it to web swing, because you'll probably be using those boot thrusters to get around, right? They still give you webbing hands, which is fantastic. Iron webbing hands. And then you'll get 2 open action hands, which is pretty dope. And that's all for the accessories. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take time, I'm going to set up, and we're going to get our size comparison going. So, see you guys in a second. Hey guys, now we're going to do the size comparison. I also grabbed me some lotion for my hands because it was killing me inside. So, let's get to it. First things first, we might as well compare him to the original of the line, which is going to be our Iron Man. I'm going to pop him in right now. There we go. As you can see, these guys are pretty much the same size and share a body because it's cost effective, and that's what matters. You can see the similarities, obviously. Spider-Man does have new forearms. I don't know if you guys can see it, but the forearms kind of show the new kind of web shooting like design that's on there. Everything else is pretty much similar. Chest is different, and you have your back piece is different, as well as a new neck and a new head. But the forearm is different as well, and I believe the back. So backing this up, right, we're going to compare it to some other stuff. So let's move Iron Man out of the way. Ooh, Iron Man almost fell. We will do, oh, you know what? Just for fun, here is an SHF with Takara Tony. Add-on legs, right? Then we have the Mafex Iron Spider, so you can show just how much bigger these guys are than other counterparts. As you can see, he is much, much bigger, right? So let's take these guys away. Next up, you'll have a Lightning Collection White Ranger. And this Spider-Man in armor is indeed much bigger. I don't know why White Ranger's not standing, but he's not. That's weird. He was just standing. So now he's going to lean with it, rock with it. We have a Marvel Legends Spider-Man. Doo-doo-doo-doo. We have a Articulated Icons Ninja. Right? We have a Mezco Me. Showing how Spider-Man is usually much bigger than a lot of guys in this review. Normally he's on the smaller side, right? So we have a 1.0 Mythic Legion. Just to show it off. Oh, you know what? Just because he's here. Here's an SHF Ultraman 7.2. Right? And as you can see, the size does vary, but for the most part, Spider-Man is winning out. Only thing is probably bigger is going to be 7.2 in the Mythic Legion. Everything else is just pretty much smaller. So on your side of the larger, Spider-Man wins today. At least the fighting armor one does. Last but not least, because I forgot to add him in, here's your main man, Kamen Rider Kuga. The dragon form, so we don't forget. Or some may call him Blue Kuga. Doo-doo-doo. Oop. Everybody's having trouble standing today. I wonder what that's about. Right? Oh, just for fun. Here is Apollo. Apollo crouched down is obviously looking smaller. But when you stand him up, I mean like really stand him up, Apollo is much bigger. Looks pretty cool, right? Again, guys, thank you as always for being patient, waiting for my stuff, enjoying my work, and enjoying the photos at the end. I really do appreciate it, guys. Please do that thing where you like, comment, subscribe, say something nice, talk about your day. Be friendly to people in the comments, y'all. As always, be good, do good, drink your water, guys. Later.